the final punch shlokas from the 9th chapter. And we're going through an exercise today of, may not be chanting the shlokas, but I'm going to ask you to maybe read the 34 translations to see the build-up of all the important things that Krishna is stating here in this wonderful scintillating chapter. I told you that Bhagavad Gita reaches a peak in the 9th chapter, which is the middle portion of the Bhagavad Gita. And this peak is a real peak because in text 34, Krishna will actually explain what he wants us to actually do. Okay, so I'm going to ask each one of you to become active today in reading one translation, and I will ask everybody to hear carefully. We have about 26 people here today, so you can read 26 shlokas, and then after that you can go back to the first person again and start reading 28 onwards, like that up to 34. So we're going to do that now. Is all of you ready to, with your Bhagavad Gitas in front of you, are you ready to read the translations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one each. I'm expecting that each one of you will quickly pick up as you read the translation and carefully listen to the build-up in the translations that you read. Just build up. We're going to look in for the flow and for the build-up and the important punches that Krishna is speaking. All right? Are you all ready? You should have the Bhagavad Gita open in front of you. If you don't have it in front of you, maybe you have to see it online in vedabase.io. And there you can go and click the Bhagavad Gita, it will come up and you can choose the 9th chapter. If you don't have it. So is everybody ready? Can you put up your digital hands? If you know how to put up your digital hands, it's a very simple exercise. We're going to read the translations and get an idea of the flow. I am not going to actually chant the shlokas that we already did on the first instance. We are going to now read the translations. You notice that I'm trying to spend a little more time on the 9th chapter. Okay? It's very crucial, vital, and important for us. There are others who have not raised their hands, but they'll be called upon to read anyway and be prepared. Okay? So here is a link given in the chat. Go to vedabase.io. If you click on that link, you'll go directly to the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter. For those of you who don't have the hard copy in front of you, which I would strongly recommend you should have had by now, you please look into the link that's been sent to you. All right? Ready? Okay, here we go. I am reading the translation to 9th chapter, shloka number 1. Okay? But I'm also going to chant the first shloka. Idam Sri Bhagavanuvacha idam tute gukyatamam pravakshayami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sakitam yajnatva mokshayate ashubhat. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all the miseries of material existence." Go ahead. Number 2.
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed.
Okay, I hope you're listening carefully. Number 3, go ahead. Three, I
Those
think
who are
it's,
not
go ahead.
those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Okay, number 4. Please move ahead quickly.
Shall I read, Maharaj?
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever is not read can read.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
Next.
And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation.
Okay.
Text 6. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
Son of Kunti,
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of the another millennium, by my potency, I created them again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Number 8, the whole cosmic order is under me, under my will. It is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
Thank you.
9. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. The material nature, which is what this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings under its rule. This manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Right.
Okay. 11. You can
fools
put on your
deride me.
hands.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme Lord of all that be.
Yes, next.
12.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their cultural knowledge are all defeated.
O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Thank you. Next, 14.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Thank you. 15.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. 16. Next.
But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. 17. Next.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rik, the Sama, and Yajur Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, 18.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you. Next, 20.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Arjuna, I give heat and I
No,
will.
20. Yeah, okay, fine. Sorry, 19. Sorry, go ahead.
O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you. So 20.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Hare Krishna
Thank you.
Maharaj.
21. Next.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
Okay, thank you. 22.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have.
Thank you. 23.
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Okay. 24.
I am the
Go ahead,
only
anybody?
enjoy. Yeah, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Next.
Those
who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors goes to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. 26.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Hare Krishna.
Okay. 27.
Whatever you do,
carry on.
whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
29.
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
30. Go ahead, Dheeraj, Mahalila, Gita Kishore, somebody.
Even, even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because He is properly situated in his determination.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, can attain the supreme destination.
Next.
How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me.
Engage your
Manmana
mind
bhavamatbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayana. Go ahead. Translation.
Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Right. That ends the 9th chapter. Thank you very much for cooperating and reading. So you see a flow. You see Krishna first telling Arjuna, because you're not envious of me, I'm going to reveal to you the topmost confidential knowledge. And this culminates in Krishna finally saying, Manmana bhava bhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru, which is a shloka that will get repeated again in the 18th chapter too, almost similar. So it culminates in instruction of Krishna pointing to pure devotional service and rendering to Krishna this loving devotional service. Before that, you will see immediately before that, we have done some examination of the shlokas right up to 28, you can say. And in 29, which we touched upon last time before we finished, he says, I'm equal. Samoham sarvabhuteshu nametveshu asti na priya. No hatred or no special liking to anybody. I am equal to everybody. Dvesha means hatred. Priya means very dear. None of these things I really do. Everybody is equal to me. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. But ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. The bhakta who renders devotional service to me, he will get my special attention. So you must understand that everybody is equal. Some are more equal than others. It's a difficult thing to understand. Actually, Krishna is, in mundane terms, in material terms, you can say that he's actually partial to his devotee. But there is nothing called partiality in transcendence. There's nothing called partiality in spiritual life. There is like, hate, and all these things only in the material world. It's called dvandva moha, material dualities. This world is gripped by dualities. Black, white, tall, short, black, 1, 0, and you can name it. Bad, good, ethical, not ethical. And the whole world is gripped by dualities that Krishna explains. Dvandva mohena bharata sargeyanti parantapa. That the world is consumed by duality. But duality occurs where there is morality and there is need for good and bad, to guide people with the good and make them position themselves in goodness, etc., etc. But for a transcendental person, everything in this world is bad. For him, because it is not connected with Krishna, he will see everything as useless. Actually, that is from the absolute realm. But we can't jump into that realm prematurely. For most of us, we need to know right and wrong, and we need to proceed on the right path. Because we have not achieved liberation, we have not achieved transcendence. So that's important for us. That is called Varnashrama, religion, moral codes, ethical codes, religious codes, and all that. But from the transcendental plane, the whole material world is useless because it doesn't so easily encourage you to be Krishna conscious. The material body is a burden, the mind is a burden, and people are different, and the day and the night, and the diseases and the old age and the health, that everything is a problem in this world because it's a big weight on the soul. So in one sense, for a transcendental person, everything is very challenging and everything is bad. It's filled with duality. So Krishna is saying, I am, for you guys who want to see it from the material plane, I'm equal to everybody. But for me, watching from the transcendental plane, I'll definitely pick up those guys who want to be transcendental, who want to come back to me. Because like attracts like. Like I put on my magnet and the iron filings will get stuck to it. And you can't say I'm partial as a magnet. Because iron filings anyway get stuck to me. I just have to go through it and the iron filings get stuck to me. Why? Magnet attracts them. Similarly, when the absolute truth runs through material world, all those who are interested in the absolute truth, who know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who are in love with him, will jump up and get stuck to him. It's natural. For those who have built up and who have built up their love for Krishna, they will immediately get stuck to him. You can't call that partiality in one sense. It is just that I'm filtering off those people who are ready to come back to me and who have graduated and have become pretty well learned. So that's natural. That's what is the meaning of this. But if you look at it from a material plane, you will start saying that Krishna is partial. Well, it doesn't matter. That's why Krishna is saying, I tend to do it, and it doesn't matter, actually. Okay? So you can't do anything about a statement made by Krishna, by the way. It's difficult. So that's an absolute statement. And people in this world don't like an absolute statement, don't like an authority, don't like somebody breathing down hot air down their necks with instructions. And they don't like to do any of these things, but they want to relativize anything that's absolute or truthful or stands out as a religious code or God or anything. They want to pull it down to the relative plane of Dvandva Moha, to dualities and everything. That's the mistake most people make when they talk about transcendence and about God. They don't like anything that's beyond the purview of this material. They tend to relativize it. So nowadays we have people relativizing even morality. So if you see amongst the younger generation, they'll not talk about, if you tell them this is bad, this is good, they'll say, so what? It's good for him, let him do it. This is bad for me, I won't do it. It's according to each person. Moral and ethical codes are according to each person's perception. So they relativize religious code, relativize the authority. You can see what they're trying to actually destroy. So there'll be no word of God that will be accepted as a truth for people of this world. So Krishna is taking care of that and saying, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshu asti na priya. Actually, I'm not involved in you guys and your duality and bad and good and all that. For me, all of them are my children. It's just that they all need this treatment now in this material world. But those who have finished the treatment, I take them back. That's all. So you can't say God is partial. Okay? Then Krishna goes ahead immediately next, after stating that I'm not partial. He goes further to make an obviously very partial statement. He says, Apichit sudaracharo bhajate ma ananya bhak sadhurev samantavya samya vyavasito hi saha. He is making this statement immediately after. In other words, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu is preparing you for what is going to come. The next shloka is going to say that, come hell or high water, whatever my devotee does, he is right. Because he is my devotee. It's a very strong statement. He's using the word sudurachara. You see the word-to-word meaning of that. Sudurachara means one committing the most abominable action. Durachar, bad action. Sudurachara means very bad action. He's going ahead and saying, if materially a bad action is committed by my devotee, even if it is very bad, you must not think him to be non-saintly. Why? He never gives up devotion to me. He may have slipped a little bit accidentally, something must have happened to him. But you should not think that he is given up. Because the nature of the absolute truth is such that once you get stuck to it, even if you commit some relative activity, it doesn't matter because you are stuck to the absolute. It is just a question of, adjusting. The nature of the absolute truth is such that it will kick off all relativity very soon. So something is sticking relatively, that doesn't matter. But the great thing is you're stuck to the absolute. That is a good point that you must understand very carefully here, because in the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained the nature of the absolute. And here Krishna is saying that I am the Supreme and you must surrender to me. Right? And if you don't, you will fall down. He's saying that. Then he's saying that the good quality of my devotee is he'll never lose track of me. He's stuck to me because he has come to know the absolute truth and is fascinated and is highly thrilled and enthralled. The amount of good experience that he's getting will never allow him to give me up. In that situation, if he does a slip here or there, it doesn't matter. Why? Immediately he says in the next shloka, Kshipra bhavati dharmatma shashvat shanti nigachyati kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. Look at this amazing statement he makes. Why? Because very soon he will get back on track. He will never get absorbed in relative stuff again because he is stuck with the absolute truth. Me, Bhagavan, Krishna. It is a temporary slip. Why? Because he's stuck with the absolute, it'll pull him back. It's so safe, the absolute truth. Even if you slip a little bit, it doesn't matter, you'll be pulled back. Shashvat Shanti Nigachyati. Then he says, go ahead and declare to the whole world, Arjuna, that my devotee will never be a failure. In the path of Bhakti Yoga, there is no failure. Once you get stuck to me and we have an equation together and you're my devotee, you will never fail. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. You can go and declare on social media and everywhere and put on all the billboards and every other place, Arjuna, that my devotee will never fail. Even if he apparently fails in the material world, in the ultimate issue, he will never be a failure. So look at this guarantee for devotional service, for Bhakti Yoga. But Krishna will never make such a guarantee for Karma Yoga or Dharmis or for Jnanis or for Yogis. He will not make such a guarantee. Because I don't know you, anytime you will invest in Jnana, you will invest in Karma. I'm sorry, because your interests are different. I can't make this guarantee about you. But I can make this guarantee about my devotee. I can boldly say it to you, say the whole world that he will never be a failure. Why? I'm going to back him up fully. I may not back up a karmi, a jnani, a yogi as much as I would do a devotee. This is a very important point for you to know. If you invest in Bhakti Yoga, you are the most secure yogi. If you invest in Ashtanga Yoga, you are not secure. If you invest in Jnana Yoga, you're not so secure. If you invest in Karma Yoga, you're not so secure. But if you add Bhakti to Jnana Yoga, there may be security. If you add Bhakti to Karma Yoga, there is a chance that you'll climb up further and land up in pure Bhakti Yoga. But if you do plain Karma, plain Jnana, plain this thing, there's absolutely no chance. You get the point? Look at the exclusivity for a devotee. And he's very happily saying that and boasting about it. He's boasting about the devotee here. Name Bhakta Pranashati. For Bhakti Yoga, there is never any failure. For my Bhakta, there is never any failure. You can go there and trumpet it all over the world. Right? Name Bhakta Pranashati, go around speaking about it. Then, immediately, this is a shloka that's going to raise a lot of questions here, especially under the section of women, where Krishna is saying, Mami Partha Vyapashitya Yepisyu Papayogya. So Krishna has already mentioned earlier that you may be a fallen person, but if you're my devotee, I'll pick you up. Then he goes to say, you know, anybody, what to speak of this person who's trying and he slips a little bit, but anybody, if he is, ridden with bad karma and is highly disadvantaged in this birth, none of those things really matter. If he takes up devotional service, I'll pick him up. He may be in a woman's body, he may be in a Shudra body, he may be in a Vaishya body, he may be in that body, this body. These are all, in the Vedic system, they are disadvantaged situations for the soul. Don't ask me, in a feminist view, why are women classified as lower birth? But that's not the meaning of this. Don't look at it that way. It simply means even those who are disadvantaged, for them, there is no, problem. They can take to devotional service and they'll get the same destination. In other words, anybody who takes to devotional service has got the same opportunity in front of him, irrespective of his material situation that he has got into. That's the main point. You may be the lowest of the low person, highly sinful person, with a heavy karma load on you. But if you reach up and tell Krishna, save me, I am chanting your name, I am wanting to do devotional service, I want to dedicate myself to you, it's a great challenge for me to perform devotional service to you in the disadvantaged situation, they pick you up. As Krishna says, Mami, taking shelter. Right? Ye appease you, Papa Yonaya. Papa Yoni means coming out of very sinful wombs. Striyo Vaishyas Tata Shudras Yeyanti Param Gati. Param Gati means the supreme destination is never denied to anybody at any time. Whatever his horoscope is does not matter. In other words, devotional service, Bhakti Yoga does not depend on your material situation, your material karma or anything. Okay? I hope you're getting that. So don't go off on a trip thinking that women and all that. Actually, nowadays, I think the whole situation in Kali Yuga is very different. All the equality that prevails, and women and men get equal material opportunities also. So we don't have to talk much, think much in that direction. But here is Krishna saying, it doesn't matter, everybody gets the equal spiritual opportunity to come back to me. Okay? That's one important point I want to say. I'm sure you have some questions about it, but we'll come back to those questions. We'll finish the last two shlokas. 33, now that I've told you so much about that, I shelter even the lowest of the lowest. What to speak of? Kim punar brahmanaha punya bhakta rajashayastata anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvama. How much more this is of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. If I'm able to shelter all of these lowest of the low people also, what to speak of those people who are Brahmanas and the saintly kings and all of them? I don't even have to talk about it. They have got it full and full. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, anityam, asukham, lokam. Nitya means not permanent. Asukham means full of misery. Lokam, this world. Imam prapya, having achieved. Bhajaswama, worship me. At least now, because you screwed up your entire career so badly that you have, got yourself into this material world of anitya, asukha atmosphere. At least now worship me. Yeah, I'll give you a chance to come back to me. Isn't Krishna so desperate to give you an opportunity? You can see that how much he's saying, do it, do it. I'm very merciful to my devotees. I'm giving you great concession and discounts. Why don't you do it? He's repeatedly asking you to do it. You know this advertisement of Nike shoes, it says, do it. I don't know whatever that means, what you're supposed to do with the Nike shoes, kick each other in the butt, or I don't know why. But do it is a question that Krishna is saying. He's saying that surrender to me. Otherwise, anyway, you'll get kicked in the butt by material nature if you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, material nature will kick you. And you'll be born again and again and again. Okay? So then finally he caps it all by saying, Man manavapa matbhaktaha madhyachi mam namaskuru. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. This is sadhana. This is Bhakti Yoga sadhana. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. He's giving a guarantee. If you follow this process of Bhakti Yoga in the association of devotees, you will make it to me. Even if you slip a little bit here and there, don't worry, I'll pick you up. You will never be a failure if you go on this road. There is a nice conversation in the Bhagavatam between Maharaj Nimi and the Navayogendras. In that, the Navayogendra, one of them, is telling Maharaj Nimi, this path of Bhakti Yoga is so good, so unlike the path of Jnana and Karma, etc. He said, Yan Arthaya Naro Rajan, Javan Nimilya Vanetre Naskale Napatetiha. Another amazing comment he makes, that Navayogendra. He says that, this path, my dear king, is so good that if you run on it with your eyes closed, you will not slip, you will not fall. It's very interesting. Dhavan Nimilya Vanetre. Dhavan means running. Nimilya means your nimisha, the eyelids. One thing is called one nimisha. When you twitch your eyelid. Nimilya Vanetre, the eyelids on top of you, you shut them. Don't open them. Close your eyes. And Dhavan means you run with your eyes closed on this path. Naskale napatet iha. You will not trip, you will not fall. Such is this path. In the Bhagavatam, Yogendra is speaking to Maharaj Nimi about Bhakti Yoga and the amazing offer that Krishna gives, lending himself out to his devotees. Okay, so here, Bhakti Yoga sadhana, Krishna is saying, think of me, be with my devotees, chant my glories, hear about my pastimes, offer your obeisances to me, worship me, and do all these things to do with Bhakti Yoga and train yourself to constantly be absorbed in me. I guarantee you, you will make it back to me. No other place in the whole Vedic literature has Krishna given such solid guarantee. You will see it only in the Bhagavad Gita, you will see it discussed only in the Bhagavad. That's why this chapter is a pinnacle. It, shows what Krishna really wants to tell you. The essence of the entire Vedic literature is this instruction. Man mana bhava mat bhaktaha madhyaji maam namaskuru. Try it and you will definitely make it. There is no failure in this path. Imagine you're getting admitted to university and you're being told this. Just go ahead, try it. You will never fail. Everybody comes out successful in this course. Everybody comes out successful. So why are people reading the Bhagavad Gita and speaking Gyan, speaking Karma and all that? Where do they get that idea from? It's not mentioned anywhere in the Bhagavad Gita like that. It doesn't speak about Jnana, it doesn't speak about Karma, it doesn't speak about doing yoga and all that. The main yoga repeatedly spoken by Krishna is Bhakti Yoga. The whole world is celebrating Yoga Day and everybody is lifting their legs above their head and they're, doing some asana, deep breathing and everything. And the Bhagavad Gita is the most authoritative text on yoga. That way it discusses all types of yoga in great depth. And then finally you land up lifting your leg above your head or trying to wind up in a funny asana like this and like that and all that. Whatever asana you may do, finally you die. Finally you die. But if you do Bhakti Yoga, no more will you die because you won't come back here again. That's the direction given. You will come back to me. You live in me, with me. Now, we are not still exposed to the great advantages of transcendence so much. So we think, so what? I've heard so many people saying so many things. Come to America, come to the other part of the Himalayas. It's great here, it's great there. Settle up here, settle up there. And this is another proposal Krishna is saying, come to me. And also say, it's one of those many proposals that I've heard. No, it's not one of the proposals. It is the proposal. There is only one proposal like this. Nobody else has given you a proposal which is beyond the world of matter. Only Krishna has given that proposal. Right? So it is up to the reader of the Bhagavad Gita, the practitioner of the Bhagavad Gita, to seriously think about this and pay attention to it. Now, apart from this, in the purport, Prabhupada gives some amazing, purports, and he speaks about a lot of interesting things. I presume you have read all that. And today, I don't want to give you any PPTs and get it through all that, because I was just going to deal with the last few shlokas, which I think are punchy and convey a very important information. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to take any questions if you have. All right, from the holy land of Guruvayur, I'm offering my prayers for all of you to Guruvayurappan. May his blessings be on all of you and may you nicely understand the Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna every day, and in this way make sterling progress towards Krishna and love of Krishna. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.